Hey everyone, this is Sam. Today is all about passive income and how you can invest $1,000 to make a decent amount of money. First off, if you're new to the channel, I talk mostly about personal finance, how you can make money, how you can save money, what not to buy, what to buy, and all different types of things that have to do with money. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. So passive income is something I think most of us want in our lives. It's the idea that you can go to bed at night and wake up the next day wealthier than you were. So once you get this going, it can become like a craving for you. It's something that you become addicted to. Every night you go to bed, you wake up the next morning, you can see how much money you made when you were sleeping. Once it becomes a craving for you, you'll see that your value is increasing every single day. So you become passionate about this. You'll start thinking of different ways that you can generate passive income. It'll be so exciting, especially at first. You won't care how much money you're making. Even just $1 of passive income means that you have income coming in that you didn't put any effort into. This excitement will drive you to become more and more interested in different ways that you can create passive income. The excitement will get you so pumped, you'll just want to find ways to make more and more. So all the examples that I'll be going over today are with $1,000 investment. They're all practical, they're all realistic. I'm not telling you that you need to go out and start your own business or start a Shopify account or something goofy like writing a whole novel. Like all of those take a lot of effort. Every example today doesn't require any effort. Now, to be honest, you're not going to be able to quit your day job by implementing the methods I'm going to be going over today. But hey, money is money, and this money is free and completely passive. My goal here is to get you addicted to making a small amount of passive income so that you can expand on this and figure out other ways to generate more and more income. So the first method is to invest in index funds, which is something that I personally do a lot. This is essentially allowing you to own a very small percentage of a ton of different companies. So this is great because it really spreads out your risk and it also gets you involved in so many different markets. Index funds are awesome because they're not very expensive, but they're very diversified. They're also usually consistent and they tend to outperform the best hedge fund managers there are. An example index fund you might want to consider is the Vanguard 500. If you buy a share, you're actually purchasing a small percentage of the top 500 publicly traded companies in the entire market. So if you were to invest in each of these companies separately, this would not only cost you a fortune, but it would take forever to do. Even if you're using some kind of site that has low fees for trades, like $5, this would cost you $2,500 in just the fees alone, not to mention how much it would cost to own a share in every one of those companies. But if you were to buy a share of the index fund, you can own a percentage of all those companies for just $275. Also, I didn't even mention that this index fund pays a 1.44% dividend yield. So you can expect to make about $14 every year if you invest $1,000. And it's not just the $14 that you'd be after, it'd be the unrealized gain of the index fund itself. The second method of getting passive income is a little riskier, but it is to buy individual stocks that offer a dividend. So when you are buying an individual stock, just like the index fund, you are becoming a partial owner of that company. For example, if you buy a share of Nike, you actually become a 1/1.6 billionth percentage owner of Nike. Yeah, not a whole lot, but technically you are an owner. With ownership, you do reap in some of the rewards that they get through their earnings. This is paid out in the form of a dividend, which is usually paid 4 times a year or once a quarter. Nike's dividend yield is about 0.99%, which is going to pay you about $10 every year for investing $1,000. So I know that this isn't a ton of money, $10 for $1,000 invested, but that $10 is truly passive income. Also, your expectation is that if you're investing in Nike, that the stock will also rise itself. So say that it went from $1,000 to $1,100, you would have $100 of unrealized gain. You can then realize this gain whenever you sell. So you bought it at $1,000, you sell it for $1,100, you have $100 of realized gain. And in the meantime, you were making that $10 every year that you held the stock because of the dividend. Nike right now is selling for around $88, give or take, and it could definitely be selling for over $100 within the next year. So just last year around this time, it was selling for about $50. So if you had invested then, and you sold at $88, you would have seen a realized gain of $38 for every share. So this is a very nice investment for every share that you would have owned in Nike. So the nice predictable dividend that you would receive from a company like Nike is nice to have. However, the real gains are whenever the company increases in value. Of course, there's more risk there because Nike doesn't have to increase, but overall, over the years, you can see that it has. If a company were to decrease in value, this would be considered an unrealized gain. So you're not actually losing any money until you decide to sell. The nice thing is that most companies continue to pay out their dividends whether the company's doing well or doing poorly. So you can almost always rely on that dividend every quarter. It's a way for them to say, thanks for believing in us. You can definitely trust us and we're doing well. Here's a little bit of money in the form of a dividend. Continue investing with us and don't sell, please. So there are tons and tons of companies out there that offer dividends. And you can look at their dividend yield percentages to get an idea which companies you want to invest in based on their yield. For example, Apple pays a 1.51% dividend yield, meaning that you'd be making about $15 every year for every $1,000 that you invest. Walmart pays a 1.85% dividend yield. Kellogg's pays a 4.06% dividend yield, or about $40 for every $1,000 invested. And then you have a company like ExxonMobil who's paying 4.58%, which is about $45 for every $1,000 invested over the course of a year. Again, not a huge amount of money to be made with dividends, but it is zero work for you. So you may as well take advantage of it. Also, one more thing about stocks. You're going to want to make sure that you hold these for at least a year before you consider selling it. This way, they're going to be taxed at 20% because they're going to be considered a long-term capital gain rather than selling within a year of purchasing, because then they'd be taxed at your ordinary income. This is likely more than 20%, so you definitely lose money if you're selling within a year. So if you were considering becoming a day trader, not only is there a ton of risk in there, but you're also going to get hit with a massive amount of taxes at the end of the year. The third method, which is the safest method of all of these, is to invest in bonds. So with increased skepticism of the stock market recently, there's been an increase in interest within bonds. So what exactly is a bond? Well, companies, governments, and states can offer you the chance to invest in them with a loan, and then they'll pay you back with interest. So what they do is they set the terms. So it's going to tell you how much you can expect in interest and how long the terms of the bond are until you get paid back. You can then decide whether or not you want to invest in this. For the most part, bonds are very safe and very reliable. There's little risk involved, so you can almost assure yourself that you're going to get your money back plus a little bit of interest on top. So this is a great advantage over stocks. Whereas in the stock market, a company may decrease in value where you're going to have an unrealized gain, where a bond, you're almost always going to get your money back, plus a little additional. The issue is that there's low risk, so there's low reward. Also, you're going to have your money locked up for the terms of the bond, which could be anywhere from a few months to a decade or more. So those are three types of passive income that you can start investing in today. I hope that you give all of these or some of these a chance and figure out a way that you can increase your own value in a passive way. As you saw, some can pay huge rewards while some pay little rewards, but they all include passive income. The nice thing about all three of these is that they're completely passive and require zero effort from you. You pretty much just have to invest your money and then wait. And also, don't feel limited to only investing $1,000. I just thought that this is a good starting point. It's an amount of money that's achievable, and it also gives you the ability to see a decent amount of money coming in. Thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.